Hello, my name is Chris. In this video, I'm going to show you how to navigate in the Blender viewport. First, we need to open Blender. So double click on the Blender icon. Then you will get a window like this. This is the Blender splash screen. At the top, you can see the current version of Blender I'm using, which is 3.3.1. In this new file section, you can select the type of file you want to open, which is general, 2D animation, sculpting, VFX, video editing. I mostly use general file. If you want to open a Blender file in your computer, you can do it here. If for some reason Blender crashed before you save, you can recover the last section here. In this recent file section, if you used Blender before, then you will get your recent files here. If you click away from the splash screen, you'll get a general file by default. If you want to bring back the splash screen, you can go to this Blender icon, then click splash screen. It will bring back the splash screen. You can see my screencast keys here. So if you're ever confused about which keys I'm using or which shortcuts I'm using, you can always see it here. Since I opened a general file, I have a camera, a cube and a light. This green line is the y-axis and this red line is the x-axis. Z-axis is not shown at the moment. If you want to enable Z-axis, go to this drop down, says overlays, left click on it, then left click on the Z. It will show the Z-axis which is going from top to bottom. Now I'm going to show you how to navigate in this 3D viewport. You can rotate in the 3D viewport using middle mouse button. You can pan around the scene using Shift plus middle mouse button. You can zoom in and out of this screen using scroll wheel. Alternatively, you can press down Ctrl and then middle mouse button to zoom in and out also. If you haven't got a 3-button mouse or you're using a laptop that doesn't have a 3-button mouse, you can go to Edit, Preferences, Emulate 3-button mouse, then close this window. Then holding down Alt key and then clicking left mouse button, it will act as the middle mouse button. But I already have a 3-button mouse, so I'm gonna go to Edit, Preferences and tick the Emulate 3-button mouse. I strongly suggest you get a 3-button mouse as it's easier to move in the 3D viewport. You can select objects in the viewport using the left mouse button. If you want to select more than one object, then you can press down the Shift key and then click the objects. If you select more than one object, then you notice that there is two types of outlines around the object, which is the dark orange and then there is the light orange. This light orange border means it is the active object. So if you want to make this cube the active object, then you can press down Shift and then click on the cube. So if you already select the cube, then Shift and clicking that cube will make it the active object. If it is already the active object, then you can deselect the cube by using Shift, then click it again. If you click somewhere on the empty space in the viewport, it will deselect the object. Alternatively, if you want to select all the objects in the viewport, you can press A key. And you can deselect all the objects by using Alt plus A. If you rotate in the viewport using the middle mouse button, you notice that the viewport is rotating around this center point, which is a pivot point at the moment. If I decided that I want to rotate the viewport around this point, then I can press Shift and middle mouse button and place that point to the center of the scene. Then if I rotate using the middle mouse button, then the viewport will rotate around that point. Now, if you want to recenter the viewport to this cube, then I can select the cube and then press the period key on the numpad. This will recenter the viewport to that selected object. Now I can zoom out using the scroll wheel. Now if I decided I want to rotate the viewport around this camera, then I can select the camera using left mouse, then click period key on the numpad. Now if rotate in the viewport using middle mouse button, then the viewport will rotate around the camera. You can send the viewport to a selected object also using view, then frame selected, which is the same as using the period key on the numpad. You can see the shortcut here, view, frame selected. The shortcut for it is numpad period key. Now for some reason, while you were playing in the viewport, you lost the cube from your side. Now, in order to center the viewport to that cube, we can go to this window which is called the outliner. Then select the cube which is selected at the moment. Press the period key on the numpad. This will recenter the viewport to that selected object which is cube. Then you can zoom out using the scroll wheel. If you haven't got a numpad, you can go to Edit, Preferences. Then you can select Input, then Keyboard, Emulate numpad. This will assign the numpad values to the top of the numbers on your keyboard. But I already got a numpad, so I'm going to untick that and then close this window. Here at the top right corner, you can see a gizmo, which is a Cartesian coordinate system. If you right click on this gizmo, you can rotate in the viewport as we use the middle mouse button. If you click one of these axes, which is being highlighted while my mouse cursor is on there, it will go to the corresponding orthographic view. You can come out of this view by using the middle mouse button. The shortcuts for this is 1 on the numpad in order to go to front orthographic, 3 in the numpad to go to right orthographic, and 7 in the numpad to go to top orthographic. You can come out of orthographic view using the middle mouse button. If you want to go to the opposite of what we just did, you can always press Ctrl and then click the numpad for the corresponding views, which means Ctrl plus 1 we can go to back orthographic, Ctrl plus 3 we can go to left orthographic, and Ctrl plus 7 go to bottom orthographic. This magnifying glass icon, which is zoom in and out in the view, is similar to the scroll wheel of a 3-button mouse. You can click this to zoom in and out of the view. This hand icon, which is a move the view, is similar to shift plus middle mouse button, which is in order for us to pan around the scene. This camera icon here is used for going into camera view and out, which is shortcut for that is numpad 0, as you can see. If you click it, this will go to the camera view, which will be the current output if we render the scene. You can come out and in of the camera view by using numpad 0. This grid icon, which is switch the current view from perspective orthographic projection, is used to switch between orthographic and perspective views. Currently we are in user perspective mode, which means you can see the lines going away are getting smaller and smaller in distance. It is a real world view, which means the farther away an object is, the smaller it gets. If we click this, it will switch to orthographic view. In orthographic view, all the perspective is removed and it flattens our world. It means an object which is 5 meters or 10 kilometers away is the same size as the object right in front of us. Orthographic view is suitable for aligning objects perfectly to an angle and distance. The shortcut for this is numpad 5. If we go to front view, it will place the view automatically to front orthographic. This is useful for us to align objects correctly. You can come out of this using middle mouse button.